Hello, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Mary and today's video is going to be my BUZZWORDATHON vlog for July. BUZZWORDATHON is a readathon, that is run by Books and Lala, Kayla at Books and Lala, but I think she doesn't actually run it anymore. She just gives people buzzwords to read and lets you run wild with it. So I'm sorry I'm out of breath and that I look really sweaty. I just finished doing a little Chloe Ting workout, so I'm like, I am out of breath and sweaty, but sorry. I wanted to let you know that I'm reading Cloud Cuckoo Land by Anthony Doerr right now. What was I saying? Oh, the buzzword for July is weather words. So I have Cloud Cuckoo Land by Anthony Doerr. I also have LA Weather by Maria Amparo Escondón. And then I'm also planning on reading The Four Winds by Kristen Hanna because wind is a weather word. But I don't own that book. I got an audiobook from my library, so I'm planning on reading that as well. So that's my tentative TBR. I might add things, I might take things away depending on how I'm feeling, but currently I'm reading Cloud Cuckoo Land, so I can give you a little bit of an update on this in a second. I don't know what Kristen Hanna's book is about. I know it's historical fiction. I'm really not sure what it's about, but people love Kristen Hanna. And to be honest with you, I read, what is it called? I read The Mockingbird? What is that? Or that's her World War II historical fiction, which as we know is not a thing that I typically love. And I didn't like that book at all. I think I gave it 2 stars. It was not for me. But I'm willing to give her a second shot because a lot of people, like I said, really like her. And I know she doesn't just write World War II historical fiction. So I'm thinking maybe if I read historical fiction from another time period, I would like it better. I also have, like I said, LA Weather, which is a literary fiction book about a family, the Alvarados, and LA is going through a drought, and then also I think it's going to deal with like a lot of their family issues and familial stuff. I'm not really exactly sure what the plot of this is. I read it when I was doing my TBR and I can read it for you again, but it's supposed to be following the Alvarado family as they wrestle with impending evacuations, secrets, deception, betrayal, and their toughest decision yet, whether to stick together or burn it all down. So there's that. I think the whole like backdrop of it is the wildfires in LA. But it's actually like about this family. So, and then what I'm reading right now is Cloud Cuckoo Land, which is another book that I've read, or another author, Anthony Doerr. I've read a book by him before that was a World War II historical fiction that I think I gave 3 stars and just was like meh for me. It was like decent, but I just felt like it was too long and I just don't care about that kind of story. I'm really sorry. It's just something that I don't really like. So I have this to read. I'm about, you can't see here because I'm listening to the audiobook of it, but I am about 55% of the way through. And I read most of that today and yesterday. It is about 3 different like main characters in 3 different time periods. So there's, what year is it supposed to be in the like oldest one? The 15th century. There's this girl, Anna, who works at a nunnery, basically doing like fabric weaving, but she really hates it and isn't very good at it. And then she somehow learns to read. And she reads this story, which is like called Cloud Cuckoo Land, I think. Or that's like the basis of it. And it's about her like learning this story and just like things that happened in her life. And then we have like present day, we're following this guy Zeno, who is running a play for the book or story that Anna is learning back in the 15th century. He's teaching children a play at the local public library. And Zeno's like in his 80s. So we also get like Zeno's backstory. That's the other thing is you get like the backstory of all of these characters as well as what they're doing now, if that makes sense. And then there's a future timeline where there's a girl, I think her name is Constance, and she's 10 years old and she's on a like spaceship because Earth is close to being uninhabitable. And you're following what's happening with her on this spaceship. And I don't really know how to explain how all of the stories tie together, but like in the actual story, the guy wants to be turned into an owl, and he, like the main character of like the story within the story, he wants to be turned into an owl. My eyebrow looks ridiculous and I'm not sure why. Anyways, sorry about that. But he ends up getting turned into a donkey. So that's part of it. And then the kids are obviously acting out this play, but there's like other characters who are like obsessed with owls. There's a character who has a donkey. And so it's just really interesting the way that it's all weaving together. And I don't think I'm going to be able to like comprehensively explain how the parts fit together because I think that's part of the magic of the story, but I am thoroughly enjoying it. So all of that to say, I'm liking it. Murphy, are you liking it? Are you liking it? Murphy's liking it too. We're in the guest room because this is where my bookshelves are. And also, this is where I work out. So this is like the catch-all room, kind of. I'm not going to show you, but in the corner, I have like my makeup in a pile because it's supposed to go in a drawer, but I have not been putting the drawer away. So it's just like all around, and there's a little circle in the middle where I can sit, which is just very chaotic, but also my life. So anyways, this is going to be this vlog. I hope that you enjoy it while you're watching it, and I will come back to you with another update when I have one. Hello. I'm currently doing the Chloe Ting Hourglass Challenge from 2019, and I'm about to start day 3. I just wanted to update this with that. My lip line is extremely uneven. And there's Murphy. Murphy, gonna join me today? Are we working out? Are we working out, man? Yeah, you wanna get up here? Thank you. Good boy. This is the tie for my yoga mat. Okay, see you later. Hey, really quick, I just want to pop on and say that I was updating my reading progress on Cloud Cuckoo Land on Goodreads. I'm about 67% of the way through. I'm not going to do a full reading update here, but I wanted to read you the Goodreads synopsis or description because I feel like it's way better than any other synopsis that I could come up with. By that I mean it doesn't give anything away, but it like gives you a really good idea of the vibe of the book. So it says, when everything is lost, it's our stories that survive. How do we weather the end of things? Cloud Cuckoo Land brings together an unforgettable cast of dreamers and outsiders from past, present, and future to offer a vision of survival against all odds. Constantinople, 1453. An orphaned seamstress and a cursed boy with a love for animals risk everything on opposite sides of a city wall to protect the people they love. Idaho, 2020. An impoverished, idealistic kid seeks revenge on a world that's crumbling around him. Can he go through with it when a gentle old man stands between him and his plans? Unknown, sometime in the future. With her tiny community in peril, Constance is the last hope for the human race. To find a way forward, she must look to the oldest stories of all for guidance. Bound together by a single ancient text, these tales interweave to form a tapestry of solace and resilience and a celebration of storytelling itself. Like its predecessor, All the Light We Cannot See, Anthony Doerr's new novel is a tale of hope and profound human connection. And I think that's a much better description than anything I was able to give to it. And also, I was struggling with how to like incorporate things that weren't on the back of the book without giving anything away. And I feel like this did a really good job of doing that. So I just want to share that with you. And then I'll be back when I have more updates, like when I finish it or if I start something else. Hello. I wanted to update this vlog really quick because last night I finished Cloud Cuckoo Land by Anthony Doerr and I gave it 5 stars. I absolutely loved that book. It just really worked for me. I loved the way it all tied up. I loved each of the plot lines individually. Like there wasn't one perspective that I wanted to read from more than any other. And I just thought it was like a really interesting way to tell a story, and how like the central line that connected all the plots together was this like book that all of the characters were like discovering and learning about. I just thought that was really interesting. So if you have not read that book, I highly recommend it. I really, really liked that book. Second thing, I am about 80% of the way through LA Weather by Maria Amparo Escandon, I think is her name. And this is a book about the Alvarado family, I think. And they live in Los Angeles. It's a husband and wife, Kayla and Oscar. I think it's Kayla or Gayla. I don't really know. I am listening to this as an audiobook, so it's hard for me to decipher what their names are. And they have 3 adult daughters. Their oldest is Claudia. Their middle child is Olivia, and the youngest is Patricia. And Claudia is married to a guy named Gabriel, and she's a professional chef, and I don't remember what Gabriel does, but I think it's something with like film and television. Olivia is God, I don't even know what Olivia does. What does Olivia do? I can't remember what Olivia's job is, but Olivia is married to a real estate agent. I know she makes the bulk of the money for their family. His name is Felix. And they have 2 daughters. They have twins that they got through IVF. And then the youngest is Patricia. Patricia is long distance married, which is really interesting. She has a husband named Eric. She lives in Los Angeles. She still lives with her parents. And Eric actually lives in San Francisco. And Patricia has a like 12-year-old son. because she was assaulted when she was a teenager and got pregnant and had this boy, and she's raised him since then. So this book starts in January and it follows the family for a year, basically. And the premise of the thing that kickstarts the plot of the whole book is Los Angeles is in a drought. Oscar, the patriarch of this family, has become obsessed with watching the weather and climate change and things of that nature, and it's driving his wife insane. And at the beginning of the book, the grandparents are supposed to be watching the twins, who I think are 3 at the time, Olivia's kids, and they step away. The grandfather's watching the weather. The grandmother steps away to go get pizza, and the twins fall into their swimming pool and almost drown. And so that's what kickstarts everything that happens in the book. And that's the last straw for Kayla, I think is her name, to Kayla Carla. I really don't know. I'm sorry. But she decides that she's going to ask for divorce from Oscar, and their daughters basically tell them, no, you have to give your relationship a year and try actively working on it. And if you still want to get divorced in a year, then you can get divorced. And then basically everyone else's life kind of falls apart throughout this year too, and just about this family's dynamics throughout the year. So I am enjoying this book, but it is a little meandery. I'm very interested in the story, but it's not I don't know, really emotionally impactful, which is the type of thing that I need for a book like this to be 5 stars. There's been some emotional things that have happened, but nothing has really, really gotten me. I do like all the characters. I am rooting for them, but I don't know. It's definitely a very strong 4-star for me. Anyways, but yeah, I will let you know. I'm hopefully going to finish that tonight, and I will let you know what I think of it. And then I'll start The 4 Winds by Kristen Hanna, and we'll just go from there. But yeah, this is kind of flying by for me. I'm usually, I don't know, I haven't been flying through books as much as I have been these books recently. So I'm pretty excited about it, but I will let you know when I have another update. Hello, it is now Sunday, and I have some updates for this reading vlog. So I did end up finishing, what was it called? LA Weather a few days ago now. And as I predicted, I gave it 4 stars. I really did enjoy that book. There are some revelations that happen in it for why Oscar, is that the dad's name, is so obsessed with the weather, and you learn things about his relationship with his wife from the past, and things that sort of not are the cause of their marital strife now, but issues that they've been having. You also get a deeper look into each of the girls' lives, and it's basically you're learning more about this family and their relationship with each other, their relationships, their interpersonal relationships in their own life, and also that things are not always as they appear. I don't want to give anything away because this is more of a slice of life story, so there's less of a full plot to give away, but more of I don't know, there's no mystery or anything, but obviously when you read a book, you learn more about characters, if that makes sense. So you're learning more about these characters as they go. And yeah, I really, really enjoyed it. I would recommend it if that's the type of thing that you like, especially if you like character-driven novels. Because yeah, I really, really liked it, and I liked the overall message of no matter what happens in each of their lives, they are family, and they will always have each other's backs and be there for each other. It was a really interesting exploration of familial relationships. So I did finish that. I also finished the other book I was gonna read for this vlog, which is The 4 Winds, and I kept meaning to update you, but I also was anytime I would have an opportunity to update you on it, I just wanted to listen to the book more. So yeah, I can now sort of give you a rundown of what that's about. So it follows this woman, Elsa. And when the book opens, Elsa is 25 years old. She lives on a farm in Texas. She's basically, this is the 1930s. So, or 1930, whatever. But basically she's too old kind of to be a serious prospect for marriage. She also is described as being kind of ugly. So she's almost 6 feet tall. She's very skinny. So men aren't interested in pursuing her romantically. And she also was very sick as a child, which means that she sort of lost the opportunity. She didn't go to school past when she was 12 or 13, I think. And she kind of lost the opportunity to have a high school boyfriend that would eventually turn into marriage. And so she's not really shunned by the town, but her family very much keeps her at arm's length and treats her kind of as the redheaded stepchild. And because of her not being traditionally beautiful, she's always sort of been told that no one will ever love you. And she meets this guy, Rafe, who is from an Italian family in the same town. And Rafe is 18, so he's much younger than her, and he basically like pursues her romantically. And so she's, for the first time in her life, experiencing love with another person, and she has sex with him and gets pregnant, and they have to get married, and her family like abandons her. This is all like the very beginning of the book. Like, even when you read the description, she has Rafe's last name in the description, Elsa Martinelli, instead of her like maiden name, which is Walcott, so you know that that's gonna happen the whole time. But it's just about her like life, and then the Dust Bowl hits, and Rafe's family has a farm too, and so it's about her like relationship with her in-laws, her like marital strife with this guy, and eventually her having to decide if it's worth it to stay in Texas with her family, and ultimately making the drive to California, because she has a daughter the first time, and then they end up having a son, and he gets really sick from all the dust, and so she has to decide to go to California. And it's just like her life, what happens there. And I won't lie to you, the first half of this book, I absolutely loved. I thought this was gonna be like 5-star, 6-star. Some people call books like 6-star books. That's how I was feeling about this one. I was so like enthralled with everything that was happening. And it's funny because I'm also like slowly meandering my way through The Grapes of Wrath, which is a story set in the same time period. But it's just interesting the differences in the story, but also the similarities. So I thought that was really like just of note for me. My problem with this book is the same problem I always have with Kristen Hanna's books, and it's that they don't feel realistic. And like, I've heard people say that she does a lot of research and that her things seem really well researched, but like, I am not a history buff. Like, I don't know how accurate any of her like research is, but it doesn't read like it's accurate. Like, I would believe that this is happening, but like, I wouldn't believe that all of these things are happening to this one woman, and I also wouldn't believe that like, I don't know, at the risk of spoiling, I guess if you don't want to know anything else about the Four Winds, skip forward until like 30 seconds. But they get really involved with the Communist Party, and like her 12 or 13-year-old daughter starts going to these like communist uprising meetings by herself. And first of all, Elsa's husband isn't with them. Like, it's just her and her kids. And so I have a really hard time imagining like her being able to do, they address it at various points. Like, she has to lie and say that her husband is picking at a farm somewhere up north. But like, that's the first thing, because people didn't take women seriously. And like, the second thing is like, she's having her and her kids are picking the cotton or whatever in the fields, which is fine and like probably happened. But like, just the way that her daughter is getting involved in like the unionizing schemes just doesn't read realistically at all. So I don't know. Maybe it's based on a real person and people will be like, no, this really happened. Because that's what people said about The Nightingale, but I also didn't buy that book. I thought that book was stupid too. So anyways, all of that to say, I ended up giving this book 4 stars because I could not, like, I had to suspend my disbelief so much when reading it that like, I don't know. And I would have appreciated if there was like an author's note being like, this is a real thing that happened with this woman, and I just like combined all of these things Forrest Gump style to make it like the most interesting woman in the 1930s. But like right at the 52% mark, I got really taken out of the story, and I don't know, I couldn't buy it anymore. So unfortunately, I did end up giving it 4 stars because I did really enjoy the book. But yeah, I didn't love certain things that happened. All of that to say, I finished my TBR for this vlog. Yesterday was Matt's birthday, so we went out, and so it's like 2 o'clock right now, and I'm just sort of drinking my coffee, getting around to my day. I also decided to do blue eyeshadow for the first time in like years, and I feel like I look like a crazy person, but I used to do blue eyeshadow like every day. So I don't know if you're wondering what's up with this because you haven't seen it. It's because I don't know, I pulled out my old like e.l.f. x J Kissa rainbow palette and was playing with it this morning. But yeah, so we hung out for Matt's birthday last night. He's finally my age again for a couple months until I get older. But I hope you guys are having a really good day. It's July 9th. That's why I mentioned it was Matt's birthday yesterday. It's July 9th. Hopefully this vlog will go up at some point in the near future. I filmed a couple things because my July is pretty busy. So I've pre-filmed a few things, and then I have a wrap up that's going up today. And then I have my mid-year freakout tag, which I believe will be the next video. And then this will be the video after that, or maybe the video after that will be my August TBR. I don't know. The summer is flying by, but anyways, thank you so much for watching it. If you made it to this point, give it a thumbs up. If you liked it, let me know in the comments down below if you read any of these books and how you felt about them. Also, let me know what you read for Buzzwordathon, if any, and if there's anything that you think I need to add to my TBR from what you read that was like really good, or anything that I should skip if it was really bad, let me know that too. And I will see you in another video very soon. Bye!